everyone. Good evening, and thank you so very much for joining. Welcome to another session of Tech Talk Tuesday. We're talking about making learning accessible today. I hope you are tuned in and clued in because today we are really going to take you on a ride. If you can see, we have about 51 slides today to talk through, and we are still not going to completely cover the whole agenda. But the agenda is important, it's of relevance, therefore we're giving it its due time and importance. So without further ado, let's start with learning how to make learning accessible. Today with you are Duhita Parmar and myself, Meenakshi Oberoi. You know us very well. We are from the D Pedagogics, and Duhita has been very kind to agree. She's agreed to be our co-host today, and she will be here, her eyes on the chat window, as we take you on a ride today. Please keep posting your comments, your queries, your anything that you want to ask or comment on. And she's also posted today's promo codes. I see. So please do not forget to redeem your promo codes on education.microsoft.com. That is our MEC. And that's the place that we really love. But what we have noticed is that we have not been able to have as many redeem codes as much as we want. So we would really urge you to please do redeem your codes in time. Accessibility is a priority at Microsoft, as Satya Nadella quotes, that we will focus on designing and building products that our customers love, that are accessible to everyone and built for each of us. Duhita, would you like to say a hello before I move on?
Yeah, good evening all. We welcome you again to yet another wonderful session on Tech Talk. As Meenakshi said, kindly do redeem the promo codes. That is why they have been put forward, put on the slides, on the message box in the beginning only. Hope you really enjoy the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Duhita. You all know very well that it's Microsoft's mission to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. So creating productive, engaging, and inclusive learning environments with Microsoft Education is what we're going to talk about. Our focus is here remaining empowering students to do their best work, enabling teachers to engage every learner, and ensuring equity inclusion in schools. Our focus for the next session, today's session and the coming two sessions, will be on providing equity and inclusion in school. Whether we agree or not, or whether we realize or not, I think over 1 billion people worldwide will identify with some or the other type of problems, whether it's visual, hearing, cognitive, speech, or mobility, or any kind of disability. If I ask you to today, I think you will be able to say, yeah, you know what, I think this is my challenge. So we are here to cater to those challenges. We want to achieve better learning outcomes for all our students. Therefore, our focus today is to empower students to do their best. You are very familiar with some of the features that OneNote already provides. That's like dictation or learning tools or Office Lens. We're going to go a little beyond today. Windows 10 especially is very focused on accessibility, and I understand that if you do not have the Windows 10 version, you might be writing on Windows 8 or 7. We will be giving you links today all throughout to have you to give you a peek into what are the different versions of Windows and how accessibility still exists even with Windows 7, which we might not know of. And the focus being vision, hearing, physical, and cognition. We want to make our students overcome the challenges that they face using these senses or these problems. But before we move on, I want to see what the audience looks like today. So I'm going to ask you to take the poll. I'm going to make the poll active now. I think the poll is active. Yes, I can see it. So please use your fingers to let me know what kind of audience do we have. How many special needs educators, how many class teachers, and how many school leaders here? Oh, looks like I have 100% of class teachers. Excellent. We do have about 33% of school leaders too. Excellent. Why I ask this question is if there are special needs educators in our audience, it is of utmost importance that they attend this because they are the ones who will need it on an everyday basis. But what gives me a good feel is that we are looking at not only some of our educators to take back the learning, but also the school leaders who shall actually be able to decipher this learning throughout the school. So great. Thank you so much for giving me a sense of the audience. I want to begin with a thought. I want to begin with this thought. Disability is not a personal health condition. Disability is mismatched human interaction. In case you put any human in the right interactive environment, I don't think there should be a problem in getting a response for the same. 70% of disabilities are invisible. Over 1 billion people are there on earth with disabilities. Therefore, we definitely need to pause to think. Some of these disabilities might be permanent, some might be temporary, and some might be situational. Yet, our agenda remains very, very focused today. How can we empower students to do their best work? How can we enable teachers to engage every learner? And our focus being Office accessibility. Empowering all students with Office 365 can be done using Office Lens, learning tools, dictate feature, read aloud feature, and editor. This is what was existent as of yesterday. Now, more and more innovation, with more and more innovation coming in, Microsoft is bringing to you many features that are available and accessible for us for free. Of course, most of these features, as you all know, Microsoft will never charge for education in case it's making learning more impactful. Here are 4 blocks in which we are dividing our sessions. Today, my session focus is only vision. Next time, we would be talking about hearing and cognitive, if possible, mobility along with. If not, then the very next time. Accessibility in action. When we are talking about visibility, I'm going to focus majorly on Windows 10. I understand that you might not have Windows 10, yet Windows 10 versions are available with every EduCloud upgrade that you get, or every MASP upgrade that you get. So if you do not have this, please feel free to reach out to us. We will be more than happy to facilitate your journey into taking up EduCloud or MASP options. That's our Microsoft Cloud EduCloud option. So we're talking about eye control, we're talking about color filters, we're talking about narrator and magnifier, and we're also talking about learning tools in Edge. Oh yes, that's possible. Ease of access is something that came as a surprise even to me a few months back. Sometimes we just don't notice. Sometimes it's like it's right there, but I did not really take notice. So making accessibility easy to discover, learn, and use, we have this ease of access feature. There are certain settings which have come in. If you go to files, you will find this sort of a display setting, which will help you decide on what your accessibility features can be. You can use a magnifier over there. You can use color filters as we go forward. I'll explain each one in detail. This ease of access is available on your start button. If you go to your settings, you will see ease of access would have come in by Windows 10. Our vision is first thing that I want to share before moving any step forward. Windows strives to enable the creator in everyone, dynamically adapting to our changing abilities, situations, and devices. The first feature that I'm going to focus on, which I find very exciting also, is the accessibility checker analyzes that helps you analyze materials and provides recommendations alongside your document. So accessibility checker is now discoverable in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Outlook, and Visual. The accessibility feature not only helps you to discover what the picture is or the image is all about, it helps you understand to fix errors and create more accessible content over time. Making your content or document is easier for people to see, hear, and use can be done using this checker. It is a familiar scene that takes place every day in our classrooms around the world. A teacher shares an assignment with her students, providing informational handouts, a reading list, and a list of recommended resources. That's what we all do. The students then form study groups where they collaborate and advise each other in individual projects, share drafts, and edit in others' work. From time to time, the teacher checks in with her students to assess their progress and guidance. Exactly, that's what you do, isn't it? Finally, the students will complete their final paper and turn them in. But what if one or more of the students has a disability that makes it difficult or even impossible for them to access information in the same way as the others? What I'm talking about is that reading, writing, and collaboration are fundamental components of education. Always have been and always will be. Yet, in a world where technology has transformed the way people learn, many of the documents are still lacking in basic information. You have to have the ability to read. Assistive technology can be of big help here. People who are blind or have visual impairments might rely on screen readers. And screen readers, what they do is they speak text on the screen, they just read it aloud. And accessibility feature can help you do that. It's super simple a feature. If you look at this, can everyone use your document? Not really. If you want to make it accessible, there are just about 3 steps that you need to do. What you need to do is you need to check on what your accessibility abilities of the system are. It is a great tool, and with just a click of a button, you can scan a document, spreadsheet, or presentation, um, and you can try and fix this. Sorry, there are so many comments coming in. Duhita is catching all the comments, I hope, even in the WhatsApp group. So, yeah, so thank you for that confirmation there. But with just a click of a button, you can scan a document, spreadsheet, or presentation to identify the areas that may be problematic for users with disabilities. And that won't change. Before sharing the content, you can run the accessibility checker to find and fix any issues that might make the content difficult. I know what I'm trying to say is a little difficult for you to grab in one go, but if you look at the review tab, if you look at your check accessibility tab, you will have a review tab under that from where you can actually check. I request Johita to please share the link for this. You can go ahead and look up this link to understand the accessibility feature further. And before sharing your content, you can run the accessibility checker to find and fix the issues that the content might have. Thank you, Dohita, for this link. This is the accessibility checker link. Moving forward, there's something called an alternative text. This was again something new for me when I learned about it, but I think I found it very useful. This provides a description of a photo or object so that a person who has visual impairment can understand the context. The feature to manually add or change alt text is now conveniently located on your right-click menu. In case you haven't really seen it, if you rest your cursor on a picture and right-click, when this menu comes up, you will see this option which I have highlighted here, edit in text or edit alt text. That's the image, and in case you can't find it there, if you look at the picture, you go to format and you look at this additional image or an icon that just comes in and stands, and that will give you the option to alt text. What you have to do here is you have to add information about the picture. So let's say that this was a picture of 4 yellow flowers in the sky background. So if you write this, anybody who would rest their cursor on this image, a gray bar will pop up which will give information about this image. This is super useful, but you have to be very, very clear about what you're saying. Like in this image, don't just say picture of a student. I would rather say go into details, because you're actually helping someone see something that they visually cannot really see clearly. So you're actually creating an image or a vision for them. You're actually trying to think at a level which is, I think, one of the highest levels of even critical thinking. So you would rather put up a post saying that a postgraduate engineering student working in the new electron microscope lab. So the person who is looking at it actually knows what they're looking at. This was clear, and Duhita has given us the link the next link too. As we move today, each time I talk about something, you will have a new link. So Dovita has given you the link for the alt text. So I hope you're able to use it. Any questions out there? I'm just going to take a breath to pause and ask Dovita, do we have any questions?
We don't have any questions as yet.
Thank you so much. So the alt text is basically tagging a message informing the user that it has been automatically generated and provides a confidence rating regarding the accuracy of the image. Through leveraging machine learning algorithms, I think the alt text will continue to improve over time. With it, like just like everything new, this is also something new, and let's try and use it so that when we keep using it, I think we'll better it out, and so will this intelligence help us. Another feature with vision is, especially for where we see there is in visual impairment in the sense that children have difficulty in distinguishing colors, especially the color blindness problems, or some specific color blinds are very, very difficult for students to identify, and sometimes they don't want to tell you in the class that this is happening. Therefore, these are some very simple things that you can do. These are available on all your devices. Color filters change the color palette on the screen and can help you distinguish between things that differ only by color. If it's hard to see what's on screen, apply a color filter. Color filters can change your color palette on the screen, can help you distinguish between things that differ only by color. With color filters applied, the difference between colors are easier to detect for people, especially, like I said, with color blindness. Where I would use it, and I have used it actually in my classes while I was teaching the concept of camouflaging. I used to use this feature, and I used to turn it into black and white. But of course, with this feature, I think it's a very interesting feature to make your camouflaging lessons very interesting. How to do this? It's super simple. So if you go to settings, and if you go to again color and high contrast, you can apply the color filter here. So this presentation is there for you to take and keep. And here's step number 1, 2, and 3. We've literally marked them for you so that you can choose. You can choose on the tint, you can choose on the hue, you can choose on the pre-fed filters or customize. So excellent powers from Microsoft to get our students with color vision difficulties. And I think at least I'm very fond of these features. And we all already know about the consistent key shortcuts, but what we mostly forget is we leave it for IT teachers to handle the shortcuts. I would say, I think in your classrooms or as an attachment or as a document available in your content library, please make consistent these keyboard shortcuts available to your students so that they know about it and they're able to use it. It really, really helps those who have vision problems to really ease out, because they don't have to go in for lengthy stuff, but they can actually really just help us with simple universal shortcuts that are applicable across our Windows platform. I think I'm going at a very, very high pace, but there's so much to cover. So in case you really cannot catch on what I'm saying, please ask me to pause. The chat window is open. Dohita's really watching the chat window. So please, please, please just do comment. And I know our WhatsApp group is also running very actively along with. So very happy to see that. Okay, coming back to vision. There's something superb that's available in Edge. Edge as a browser is something that we should and must try and use because I think it's a very, very reader-friendly browser. You have a reading mode. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever used it. I've used it and I've really loved it. So let's say I'm browsing on a site and I land on a page where I'm not really, I really want to capture some of the data from over there. So what I do is there is an icon next to the star icon, and you can enable that icon. Once you do that on the top ribbon, once you do that, this black ribbon will drop down. With this drop down ribbon, you can have read to me feature. You can have capture this. You can write on this. You can highlight certain things. So sometimes you just want to cut off the distraction of those ads running by the side and stuff, and get immersed in that article or story. So I think reading mode is now in Edge, which also removes any of the banners or navigation elements from the page and changes the background to an easier view color. So guided step is like, I would say just try this and come back to me to tell me how you liked it, because I loved it. It has some of the features of our learning tools also, just the way in immersive reader, backgrounds change. Here the text gets highlighted by default in gray, and as you read, you can keep highlighting in different colors, and you can even bring in more changes. So do that. I forgot to tell you something wonderful actually. So I've gone back on that same slide. Let's say you've highlighted something and you put down some notes. You would want to keep those, isn't it? So this can actually be saved as a PDF and downloaded and be given to students. You no more need to give them pages as a web page. You could actually write, scribble, highlight, bring focus to the main content or the line, and take it back to your class. I've done that in my language classes. I've done that in my science classes. We've taken back some of the excerpts from latest news that's running. You don't want the entire thing going, therefore you select and you put your comments. You there and then make your worksheet, and you can simply print it or simply just put it in your OneNote and give it as a part of your content library. There's so much more that you can do, and I think you as teachers, I would rely on you to let me know what did you do with your Edge reading mode. Moving forward, I have one of the most like I was talking about the high contrast that is available in the Edge mode. Here's what is available. You can increase the color contrast of the text and images on the screen, making it more readable for students and more identifiable. So this is how you can run it. We've just given you a screenshot over there. Your styles can change. It can become dark background. You can have a medium font size. You could do a web page, save it as a web page. You could even save it as a PDF, and you could do so much more. So please do give it a try. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful opportunity. This is another one of our favorite lazy people like me, who do not like to find documents or who do not like to find or type to search information. I call out for Cortana. Cortana is our new guiding feature. It is an audio-based initial setup of Windows 10 device with no touch or mouse required. That's such a blessing. And what you can do is Cortana can actually read to you. Cortana can find information for you. Cortana can... so this is actually a box feature during the initial device configuration. It allows you to do a setup. So you'll have to have your setup ready. So you can ask Cortana to do many, 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 many things for you. Cortana is basically your best friend if you're working with Windows 10. Okay, I am now going to be, might be a slightly repetitive in what you might already know, but at the risk of doing that, I'm going to take a pause also here to check that yes, Dovita has been sending you links to whatever I have been talking about for you to go through in detail and for you to have a whole run through. And in case you have any questions and queries, please keep them coming. We have more links coming in today. I'm going to ask Rohita to hold on to the last few links because we wouldn't want them going this time. We would want you to come back next time for them. But I want to draw your attention to what we have already got on our systems and what's new in it. So Learning Tools team led by, Mike Thompson has always been bringing us more changes, more innovation. So here's something of what they have done to improve student outcomes. You all know, but for the benefit of all, let me repeat that learning tools make it easier to read and write. Students spend so much energy decoding that they can't focus on the content. This tool will make them help learning with more efficiency. Desktop version, OneNote desktop versions is what you have already seen, that we already have learning tools. The features like, again, changing the theme, changing the font size, spacing, voice control, whether you want a male voice or a female voice, and even the language. Apart from that, this new feature is now coming in Word Desktop. and it's going to look something like this. This is going to be an add-in, and it has already been released. It's also there on Word Online, and this is how it is going to look. We also have it on OneNote Online, which earlier we couldn't find. So Office 365 versions of Office Online tools will also have these features. To give you an idea about where all learning tools are available, here's where they are available. Here are the features that are there. We're not going to talk about all the features like I said today, because we're only covering vision today. But there is text-to-speech and word line highlighting, spacing and font size, syllables, parts of speech, line focus, and dictation features. Where all are they available in the apps? They've been very clearly defined here for you. I think we all know, therefore I shall not dwell further, but I don't want to miss talking about Office Lens and Immersive Reader. You know, they're both these tools. What they do is they help visually challenged students to read the data in a more easier manner by making the size of the font bigger or highlighting the text word by word or sentence by sentence as required by the reader. So to just put it all together, Office 365 enables accessibility communications, audio accessibility, visual text accessibility checkers are there, accessibility templates are there, and export and email accessibility settings are also around. For all of these, you can go through the links that Tuhita has been sharing in our window. Therefore, please take note or use these to actually visit. A recap for you for people with visual impairments. What our plan for the future releases are: more intuitive slide reading experiences for screen readers and improved table navigation supporting in PowerPoint and PCs, narrator scan mode, usability improvements with Office PCs, improved announcements for misspellings. I know language teachers have been complaining like anything. So here's something that we are still working on. Rotor support for in Office for iOS. I know people have been asking for that too, to navigate headings, shapes, links, comments, charts, track changes, and regions. Improved screen readouts for connectors and shapes in Visio. So you're talking and we're listening. This is something that is one of the most, I think, important feature for people with visual disability. Seeing AI is a Microsoft research project that has brought together the power of cloud and artificial intelligence to deliver an intelligent app designed to help you navigate through your day. So it turns a visual word into an audible experience. Here's the link for it. Please go ahead and download on your phones. It is even available in our App Store in iOS. So Apple users need not complain. Here's something that's going a long way. Absolutely awesome, absolutely important. I've used it and I loved it. 5 free things to try today. These are the URLs for you to try today. Go to aka.ms/office education, translator for education, accessible templates, Office Lens, seeing AI. So these are all the links that I've talked about today, once again in a go, and OneNote learning tools in case you don't have till now. Dictate.ms is something I would say right after this call, try dictate.ms. Download it, and there will be a dictate feature in your Word document with immediate effect. So that's awesome because lazy people like me, I love speaking to my device and my device typing. Nothing better than that. All right, so that's about it that I'm going to talk about today. Once again, emphasizing on Microsoft's mission that empower every person in every organization on the planet to achieve more. I shall rest the onus of doing so today on the 33 or 35 participants who were with us today. I would request you to help us take Satya Nadella's vision to reality. And I think with that, I'm going to pause to ask whether there are any questions in our chat window. Rita, anything out there?
Not as yet. I would like to say to all the educators and the leaders present here, share your learning of today with your counselors especially, because learning tools is something which is very beneficial. We are doing it in our own school also. So it really helps. It really, really helps. And Office Lens is a wonderful tool which you can use in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Duhita. I think it's very important. We should not only rely on the special needs education department. I think every educator is a special needs educator. Therefore, I think we should
Yes.
just start using these tools right away. The whole reason of why we have pushed OneNote further is to bring in this today because this is the need of the hour, and we must leverage the possibilities that are available to us at no cost. We will be sharing more links with you in the next session where we are going to focus on hearing, cognitive, and mobility and making learning accessible to all. Thank you so very much. We are still here. If you have any questions, queries, comments, please do put them. Thank you for attending this session. And I think we are happy to have your questions, queries, and comments now.